Alright everyone, and welcome back to another video, F124 Driver Career Mode. This is the pre-season episode for Season 2. If you missed the previous episode of any of the episodes in Season 1, I recommend check them out before seeing this one. Yes, but I'm back, of course. It has been a little bit of a while as well since the last episode, but everything is now ready for Season 2. I only got 4 teams available. A little bit annoying about that, you know, as you progress throughout your career, you only ever get 4 teams, and there's issues with it as well. I initially wanted to go for Sauber as well, but for Season 2, that was my original plan. That's not possible, because I don't have that in the game. Alpine, never in a million years, would end up with a McLaren Junior driver after what happened with, you know, what happened with Piastri. So yeah, I don't really want to stay with Williams because driver transfers are terrible. You have to move about to get the most of it, driver transfers. So it's either move to McLaren early, or I think there's a storyline here at RB, Red Bull, Racing Bulls, AlphaTauri, Toro Rosso, whatever they call themselves. Yes, I think this is an interesting move. Mostly because the storyline will be based about Red Bull 4 potentially supplying McLaren for Season 3 2026. So obviously to try and you know, negotiate that, as part of those negotiations, I've been loaned to AlphaTauri. I get more recognition than Yuki Tsunoda, which is just absolutely astonishing as well. But you know, I think we're in a good position to take this team forwards to the midfield, like we did a little bit with Williams. You know, we took them in, you know, took them well outside the top 10 to consistent point scorers as well, and we'll be looking to continue that with AlphaTauri / Toro Rosso for Season 2, as well as there's the world's worst cutscene there as well. But yes, in the end, I end up on 45%, you know, compared to Alex Albon. You know, I'll have more recognition at AlphaTauri, to be fair, as well. 99 points. I don't think that's too bad. Some of the races I got very lucky in. You know, Albon scored a lot less points than me, but he was unlucky in some races. Here's the calendar for Season 2 then. Starting in Australia, then Japan makes a return, as does Imola, Monaco, Canada, Spain and Austria, Britain, Hungary, Belgium, Italy, Singapore, Brazil, Portugal, Las Vegas, and rounding off in Abu Dhabi. This is a very European-based calendar for Season 2, and that is all about money saving, which is what this season will be about. You know, obviously 2026 is going to be very lucrative, meaning that 2025 the teams are obviously going to be trying to save as much money and prepare for the arrival of new regulations for Season 3 / 2026. Now, scenario, I'm not going to go with one for Season 2. I've got my plans to introduce that later down the line. But yes, here we are, 76 rated in the new AlphaTauri overalls, as you can see. Each in the overalls have been customised as well. Also, it's time to customise the helmet. Since we last did it, there has been a few more. I do quite like this one as well. A little bit of gold there as well, but obviously the channel colours of red, blue and red. Sorry, red, blue and black, excuse me, as well onto the car as well. But yeah, overall, yeah, it's probably obviously improvement over the Season 1 helmet. A few more customized helmets there, but not nearly enough compared to what they should be. You know, look, you're talking like 20. You need to be real good. You need to have 30 helmets as standard in the game from launch, not just 3 as well. Quick look at R&D. There's nothing actually I can do because everything went into saving everything. So yeah, I will show where the R&D chart is. Can't really do much anyway because there's some of them require 60% recognition, which I don't have yet. So yeah, still a little bit of work to do on the Sashi side though. But now though, it's time to reveal the grid and the cars for Season 2. So there is the grid for Season 2. I'm going to start with the livery that I'll be driving with. The AlphaTauri livery. A few changes here. I've taken the red aspects out of it. I've left the Hugo logo in red, which I'm sort of umming and ahhing about. But I do think that this livery does look a little bit better and a lot cleaner without those red lines on it that were that have been added as well. Obviously a few sponsor changes. Tudor has stepped up their sponsorship in the team to come alongside the departing Cash Up, as well as the departure of Orlan as well. That is they have made up the money. We've got some other sponsors as well, which you might recognise from previous years. They are on the car as well. The like the Nordic Hotel Group, Alens and Magnus as well, which have been in every career mode of mine since 2020 as well. But yes, overall, I mean, it's a Season 2 livery. I haven't quite, there are a few things I probably want to change, but overall I'm actually happy with how this turned out, and it's probably going to look even better on track than it does in the showroom. Now moving to Red Bull. Obviously, as you can tell by the title, the thumbnail, and the preview scene that you got, the intro scene, you got there, Lando Norris has defected to Red Bull. So what happened was, after I signed for AlphaTauri RB, Lando Norris announced to the world that he was leaving McLaren as well. He thinks Red Bull, even though they got the worst car, is a better chance of him getting a Drivers' World Championship in the future, especially if they have Red Bull and Ford engines. Why not? Why go be the customer team when you can have you can be the manufacturer, be the work with Ford, a huge engine project for him. So that's why he's departed. He'll be alongside Max Verstappen. It's probably a liner that's probably going to dominate this season. Even though they don't quite have the fastest car, I do think they're going to be challenging him for wins, and it's going to be hard to dominate. Obviously we're waiting for Ford, so that's why Heineken is on the car as well. And obviously I've replaced Perez's sponsors because he has left the team, and obviously Red Bull altogether. He is still on the grid though, as well, which I'll explain in just a moment. So yeah, a few other sponsors. AT&T is still a sponsor of Red Bull in real life anyway, as well. So I've put them on the car as sort of one of the replacements for Perez's outgoing Claro and Telcel sponsors. But now we come to McLaren themselves, and McLaren needed a driver. Unable to get me out of my contract, they've signed Perez alongside Piastri for Season 2, and they've got a new title sponsor in the form of MasterCard as well. Hilton has stepped up their sponsorship to replace OKX as well. So yes, and they've gone for this white and orange themed livery that was sort of shown at the previous race at Singapore in real life, as well. Yes, a very different looking livery, and I've also shown that on the driver suits as you saw in the cutscene. Obviously, Perez he's actually not very good focus. I think he's got the worst focus of any driver on the grid. So whether or not he is just a stand-in until I can get a contract with him, whether I'm able to get a contract with McLaren for Season 3, I don't know. We will find out together. But obviously, Telcel and Claro come in to McLaren, and that will give them some good revenue streams to make up for the loss of Google and OKX's money as well. But yes, obviously this is a transition season. Who knows what they're going to be powered with in 2026. Now it looks like unlikely after Norris's defection to Red Bull that they'll be actually using Red Bull Ford engines at 2026. Mercedes are next up. They've not really been doing that great in Season 1, and Hamilton's still at the team, yes. Unlike F1 Manager, which has Hamilton, some of the move hard codes like Hamilton and Sainz's moves. Although I had to make that myself in my F1 Manager save with Williams. Yes. Obviously Hamilton's still here, but Petronas have gone, and you know, this is a transition season for Mercedes. They're obviously looking forward to 2026 when hopefully the engine regulations will be a little bit kinder towards them as well. Obviously, I've replaced Ineos as the title sponsor, but also Crown Strike, and it's an all chrome livery as well. Chrome liveries never look good in the showroom. They always look a lot better out on track. As well, and part of the red's a bit chromed as well on the front, which actually, you know, that was a mistake. I didn't intend to do that, but I like it. I like the look of it, so it's actually, I've just left it there as well. But yeah, for them, they just need a season where they can actually, you know, try and challenge for a podium even. You know, because they were very poor in season 1, and even most of the times I was racing either Russell or Hamilton, and you know, even it was even possible to get easily to get Albon in front of them. And obviously, Hamilton's still at Mercedes, so Sainz is still at Ferrari. Yes, even though there's an open with my departure at Williams, they have not signed him. So yes, they've got Leclerc and Sainz there as well. I've done a little bit of work with this livery. Now, obviously, Ferrari, you know, the HP logo, I don't actually particularly like it, which is on the car, which is why I've turned it to white as well. I think this would be better use of it. It's annoying that it's also white on the yellow bit on the front wing. That I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. Yes, obviously this is just, you know, it's a yellow and red Ferrari with the Ferrari word mark. I mean, you know, seems to be a fan favourite. Put that back on the rear wing as well. Just like in real life, they've lost Santander. Ignore the logo on the front wing. I will try and remember to remove that and replace that with something else. But yes, you know, other than that, it's for them. You know, Leclerc was one of the closest challengers to Verstappen in season 1, but I kind of feel that season 2 is probably going to be a step back for them as well, and they need to really contain the, you know, try and step up and make sure that they can actually still win races in season 2. And I thought, why not let's get Santander to defect to Aston Martin as well. Obviously Alonso, you know, being Santander are Spanish bank, so you know there could be that link with Alonso potentially. But also Santander, they would probably they'd probably look at Aston if they were to continue on the grid, which they haven't announced in real life where they are going. But if they were to continue on the real life grid, they'd probably choose Aston Martin. You know, Newey's just gone there. They've Honda coming in. You know, it's exciting. It's interesting times at Aston Martin, certainly in the future, as well. So Santander are there. Honda are not currently here yet. They will be in season 3. But I've done what I usually do in my career mode and changed the Aston Martin to British Racing Green, as it should be. It should be this colour, not that horrid green that the Aston Martin is. Although I do think it's got a lot better than in previous years as well. But yes, Stroll actually, I don't want to, you know, Stroll was actually pretty good in this career mode at the end of the season. The start of the season he was dreadful, but the end of the season he was consistently in the points. And you know, if he continues that form, you know, Alonso was there or thereabouts getting the odd podium in season 1. Who knows where this outfit will be in season 2? Now, Alpine. Yeah. Obviously, since the previous video came out, obviously they've announced that they're dropping the Renault engines, even though their data show that they actually made progress. Yeah, this is a sort of well, it's many shades of blue livery. Obviously BWT have gone as well, but unlike in previous career modes, they will be returning to another team. Spoiler alert there. As well, Xbox have stepped in as well. I don't really like this livery. I do. The problem that the livery that Sean Ball actually designed looks a lot better on the WEC car because there's no carbon fibre on it. The amount of carbon fibre on this car ruins the livery for me, personally speaking, as well. Obviously, this is the last time I've done it. It's just a little bit of an experiment, but and seeing how it would actually look if it was all one colour and many shades as well. I think that it will be probably something a bit different in Season 3. Yeah, maybe something else, a different colour. Another spoiler alert there as well. Obviously, in this career mode, Jack Doohan is not stepped up to replace Esteban Ocon. He's still there at Alpine, so they've retained their same lineup. Now Williams, a little bit of a striking livery. Yeah, I'm sort of hanging on about the light blue and the dark blue, to be honest. Don't worry, a fan favourite livery of a previous career mode I'm planning for Season 3. But for this year, Season 2, they've gone with this livery. Not a lot has actually really changed for them in terms of sponsors wise. They replace Scandic come in as a new sponsor. And replacing me at Williams is not Logan Sargent, not Carlos Sainz, but Théo Pourchaire as well. Probably the last time we will see him in a career mode, unless he can somehow get the second seat at Sauber that's still going. But yeah, I'm sort of umming and ahhing at how that light blue actually looks, especially with the Komatsu logo. But overall, it's a strikingly different look for Williams, as they will probably be seeing a lot of these liveries. We fight for those points, those points at the back of the top 10 potentially as well. Bearing in mind, I've not raced this game since the update came with the sports update. They changed the RS. There's been a lot of changes that actually start raced against the AI. So yes, it'll be interesting to see how they perform. Now, before I talk Sauber, oh my goodness grief, trying to get a good looking livery out of this car is nearby impossible with 3 colours. Yes, I wanted a proper send off for Sauber. It's not quite there for me as well, because obviously where it is currently coloured red is actually on the default vanilla paint file is actually black. So yes, that's why you can see the inside the real rims and a few wheel nuts. They are in red as well. Yeah, maybe in hindsight, maybe just 2 colours, but obviously this is the last time I'm going to see Sauber in this career mode. We'll of course see them in fantasy liveries for the time being until I do an Audi livery. But other than the front wing, I actually like the transition I think the Halo's actually got quite a nice transition with the red, and then also the rear wing I think looks like nice. Obviously Audi brought in Bosch, and they've also got Castrol as well, which is coming to the team in real life in 2025 I think, or 2026. Either way, they're definitely coming in real life as well. I've just added Bosch as well, as Audi prepare to enter Formula 1 in Season 3 as well. Although where they will be, we don't know, because Binotto has admitted that they're probably going to be at the back of the grid and their engine's not going to be that great. Unlike Renault's, which their performance apparently was actually pretty good for 2026. And I thought to end on a livery that I think is probably one of the best looking on this Season 2 grid, Haas. What I've done with this livery, it's not really a huge amount of sponsor changes as well, but nevertheless, you know, I've swapped the red and the white. I actually quite like this livery as well. I think the white can be a bit plain on the car in recent years, and I think this looks a lot better. I think this actually looks a lot better for season 2. So they still got MoneyGram as a title sponsor. Whether or not I give them a new title sponsor depends on what's going to happen in season 3 as well. We could even who knows what's going to happen to this team in the future, but for now they still got Magnussen and Hulkenberg, which it's a little bit disappointing that I've only got 4 driver transfers. Yes, that's right, Daniel Ricciardo unfortunately is not on the grid for season 2. But let me know in the comments below, firstly, which is your favourite livery out of the 10, and also how many driver transfers you got in your career modes in season 2. I'm interested to see the differences between those who stayed and those who moved teams. But as promised, here is the R&D graph for season 2. McLaren have lost a little performance. There was a regulation change, but it was only really minor on Sashi. Williams have actually lost some performance compared to the chasing the bottom half, who have all gained over the winter period as well, so expect that to be closer. Aston Martin have also lost performance as well. Mercedes and Ferrari have swapped places, so Ferrari, you know, they were according to that line graph, they were the 5th fastest car at the end of season 1, even that despite Leclerc being able to win and finish runner-up in the championship as well. This is where though I'm going to leave for this video. The next episode will be in Australia. The episode should be out next week as well, probably later next week. I am going to try and get the grips with the AI, so that episode will probably be a test to see what the AI are like, because I've not raced them since before the update, and then obviously to see how the cars handle, how this this AlphaTauri handles compared to the Williams, compared to season 1 as well. That's where I'm going to leave it today's video. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. See plenty more F1 24 and other F1 related gameplay. Until the next video, then I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.